Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So we got some news in regards to what is going on with the House passing the Epstein Files to release bill. So I know we've talked about stories like this about Epstein, and I've given you my thoughts. Like I said, I think Trump misspeaks, but I could be wrong. And like I said, if he is in there and it shows that he was a pedo, then I would say, go ahead and charge him. But if he's not in there like that, people just need to give it a rest. And I could understand, like I said, that because he brought up the Russia hoax, him speaking in regards to saying like, oh, these people are trying to say all these things about me that are untrue. That's why he's calling it a hoax. But I still think that he should work on his verbiage and not downplay the severity of the Jeffrey Epstein situation, and like say something in regards to like, oh yeah, the Democrats are trying to use it on me, but we know it's untrue. That part I believe is a hoax, but this, garners or takes away from the real victims of Jeffrey Epstein by Democrats playing this game. And we need to think of the victims. And like if he were to something like that, it'd probably be way better than what he's been saying. But we have this from Live Now from Fox: breaking House passes Epstein Files release bill. So this is going to be interesting to see. Again, I hope they just release it. I'm the type of person to say, just let it go, flow like that floodgate, open it all the way up and let the chips fall where they lie, and we'll see what happens. But let's jump into the video.
Go straight back out there to live on the House floor. Still 9 non-voting there. I'm not sure, Casey, what could we be seeing here that's for the last 9 that's allowing this to continue on?
A few options. The most likely is probably the simplest, that they're not on the floor, that they had some sort of travel delay. They were in a constituent meeting. They're racing there. Or, I mean, I know just from knowing the place, there are some people that want to be the literal last ones. And there's like this little Spider-Man meme on the House floor of like, you go, I go, I want to be just the story, the impact. There's so few like defining votes in Congress, even though they vote on a lot of stuff. This is obviously one, and they're trying to make their point, even if it's just for themselves or just for their memoirs of I'm the last one there. So anywhere, any reason from I was stuck in a meeting, I was stuck in traffic, to I just wanted to be the last one on a generation defining vote.
And it's interesting because we did also have a shot that has now gone away because this vote was called, but the House Energy Subcommittee was holding a meeting. So exactly as you're saying, they could have been in other pressing matters that they also wanted to address before leaving to make this vote. But again, still 7 left, 4 Republicans, 3 Democrats still holding on here at this point. Very, very close to the end. But again, everyone so far in the yay category. We were also hearing from Thomas Massie. He has, of course, been extremely outspoken on this. Do you think that that is going to continue to affect his relationships with some of the members of his own party moving forward?
I think his relationship with members of his own party, to say nothing of the president, is sealed. And it has been for a while. He's a thorn. This is not true to this leadership or even this president.
Now there's one nay on there, and I'm assuming it's the person that was speaking out in regards to what I've told you guys before too. Like maybe you gotta change the verbiage on the bill and have it so that you don't see like the photos, the videos, the names of the victims who are like underage, like stuff like that. Like I understand what they're saying, and I was watching this a little bit throughout the day. I know one person spoke up and was saying like they also wanted to block the names of the people that were innocent, and what they mean by that are people that had no idea this was going on. Like let's say the person that was in the hotel room that just walked by the person, or was they cleaned the hotel room, or cooking dinner at like at a club or something, and those people don't really know what's going on, but their lives shouldn't be thrown upside down, and them being called like colluders or whatever and having their lives ruined. So I know that was some of the things that they were talking about how you have to think of all victims, not just the women, but the ones that don't, that weren't accused of doing anything or participating in anything. They were just, witnesses to it or whatever. Like seeing, like, let's say if they're like, oh yeah, I worked a night shift and I saw him walk in with these girls, like, the doorman's not going to know what they're going to go do. He just like, oh, hey, I saw these people, and so to have his life turned upside down and people saying like, oh, you're part of this, and he's not, I get why they are saying to kind of redact those, but we'll see what it says, but let's keep going.
He's known as a procedural stickler, right? And the same way Rand Paul is on the Senate side, like there's just not much you can do to please these folks. And it's just kind of, we'll take his conservative vote when it benefits us, and hopefully he's not too loud when it doesn't. Obviously, this was not a case where he was silent. In fact, he was one of the co-authors on this original discharge petition resolution that got to the floor and co-opted leadership to put it on the floor.
All right, and so we're again winding down to the very end here. Still 5 non-votes there. So what we can do at this point is I want to lift up the audio here on just so you can see exactly what's happening, and continue for folks who are just now joining us to get a little bit more context. If you can, Casey, hang on for just a couple of more minutes. But again, the House is now voting on this bipartisan measure that would require the Justice Department to release the files that are currently in its possession related to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And so this legislation is known as the Epstein Files Transparency Act. And as it's been reported, it was expected to pass, of course, very well here. No votes in the nay column. Well, one just popped up again there, Casey, for the Republicans. It might be yet another blip. We've seen that happen twice so far. And as Casey did let us know, that they have until that gavel pounds there to be able to change their vote. Could have been a simple mistake. So we'll continue to watch. And if not, we'll get the name of that person and continue to reach out to understand a little bit more. But again, this bill would compel the Justice Department to publicly release the files related to Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, within 30 days of it being signed into law, with some exceptions for survivors' personal information and other sensitive material. Casey, I have to ask you here, when it comes to Ghislaine, she's behind bars. She's in prison. She's serving a 20-year sentence. Could the release of these files affect her in any way? Could this affect her petition to, as she's tried several times to appeal the conviction? Is that possible?
Sure, right? Like anytime new evidence comes to light, I guess I'm not incredibly familiar with. Oh, here you go. You got the gavel. This thing's closing. I'll let you go.
The nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Casey, it happened. Did you hear that, though? He said the nays are 1.
Yeah, the one stuck. And so if you want to talk about like why there's grandstanding in Congress, watch the incentive structure of that one nay vote over the next 24 hours. You may not have heard of this person before, but I guarantee you're going to know his name or her name.
So as you can see, it passed the House. I think it just I don't know if it goes back to the Senate or like it bounces back and forth. But it got approved, and so we're going to see where it goes from there. Once it hits Trump's desk, he just has to sign it, and it's good as gold, I guess. I don't know if there's going to be any lawsuits or pushback about what can be released, but it's going to be interesting to see. Let's keep going.
For a long time now, because he or she is going to get all the attention. I just don't know who it is yet.
Yeah, we're going to work behind the scenes to figure that out. Again, Casey Burgett there, we appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We're going to continue to listen in. As you said, they're going to be moving on to other information and other votes, 5-minute votes that are set to happen. But we appreciate you for breaking down the very latest. As this is now official, the House has approved the bill to release the Epstein Files. All right, so we do have that name. We've just been told here by my producer, Clay Higgins, Representative Clay Higgins. We're going to work to see a little bit more information behind the scenes. And of course, just so you get some context here as to what's happening in the room, I want to put this up on your screen. This is from our Watch With You camera. So we have these. This is a vantage point of what I can see, but also the vantage point of what's happening in the room. And so right now, working behind the scenes to learn a little bit more about Clay Higgins, the representative, and the state that they are from. We're going to work to get some other information up there on your screen. Here we go. It's from the representative. I'm going to read it out for you. We just got this up on your screen. This is from his X account, saying, I have been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. What was wrong with the bill 3 months ago is still wrong today. It abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America. As written, this bill reveals and injures thousands of innocent people, witnesses, people who provided alibis, family members. If enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. Not by my vote. The Oversight Committee is conducting a thorough investigation that has already released well over 60,000 pages of documents from the Epstein case. That effort will continue in a manner that provides all due protections for innocent Americans. If the Senate amends the bill to properly address privacy of victims and other Americans who are named but not criminally implicated, then I will vote for that bill when it comes back to the House. This is interesting there. Casey, I still see that you're here on the line. Do you mind chiming in on this? We have the full statement now. I'm intrigued. You said it. It was possible. You said we may not know the name initially, but now we have it. It's there. Representative Clay Higgins.
Yep. I know him. He's an incredibly strong Trump defender. He's a process-oriented America First type guy. So I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting fired. Where he loves the limelight. He loves the spotlight. And this is, I'm shocked that he is a nay vote, the only nay vote, I should say. But if you gave me a list of 5 people who would have been a nay vote, he would have been right on the top of that 5.
And so I'm watching this, and it was what we've talked about. A lot of the conversation had to do with what's in it, or will people be revealed in this. He's saying he's doing this for the victims. Do you think that this will stick well for him ultimately? I mean, it was, like you said, it was surprising to see this one no vote, and it's going to go down in history as one of the most major votes, but Clay Higgins decided to vote against it.
Yeah, so just doing the quick politics in my head here, he left himself a lot of wiggle room. So right now he gets the national attention that comes with this. He's obviously going to be incredibly well supported or well respected by the president for being the one lone dissenter on something that he doesn't want to ultimately do. And then within that statement, he gave himself some room to be like, the process here matters. And if you fix all this stuff, I can still come back around knowing that there will be another House vote on this measure. And then all we'll really remember in the end is that it passed and it was unanimous at that point. So he's really counting on not only taking advantages of being obviously seen on every TV screen of who is this guy right now. His profile is about to go bananas. But also he left himself some room later on to ultimately cast a yay vote when and if he gets all these protections that he lists here, there's too many to name, secured and the Senate changes. So politics at play right here.
And so we'll continue to watch and see the fallout. Again, you said it. We'll know their name, Representative Clay Higgins. We'll watch. We're going to reach out behind the scenes to see if we can get him to come on to our program to just explain, get a little further. I mean, we saw it there pretty clearly on his X account, but it'll be great to have that conversation. So we, again, appreciate Casey Burgett here, the political analyst from George Washington University, joining us for the entirety of that vote. We appreciate your knowledge. It always helps to understand things a bit better behind the scenes.
Appreciate you. Good luck, Christina.
Thanks. All right. We wanted to make sure we brought that.
So you guys seen that, you heard that. Well, it passed. So now it's kind of like what I said, where the person's kind of trying to look out for the people that are like not really involved, like I said. And so I can understand why he would vote no, but I don't know. I just think, just kind of throw it out there, let the chips fall where they lie. So this is going to be interesting to see. Now, what are your guys' thoughts? And let me know in the comments below. What are your guys' thoughts in regards to how this will affect the midterms, the upcoming elections for 2026, and then the 2028 election? So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment below. if there are any Democrats, like the one that was, texting Comey during the when he was talking to the Congress or the Senate or something like that, that person, whew, there goes their career. But yeah, so you got to wonder how this is going to affect any Democrats if there are Democrat names in there. So it'll be interesting to see everything. Now, maybe the Democrats are not worried because maybe they already destroyed all the files and there's nothing there, like what Cash and Dan Bongino said. There was no there. So that's also a possibility, that if with the releasing of everything, if there's nothing there, then it's just all been for naught, but we'll see, because then we also have all the women, all the victims that were saying like, well, if you guys don't release it, we're gonna release our own list. So if the files were destroyed, then it'd be interesting to see what those women are going to do and if they're going to stay true to their word and release their list, because that's going to be an ish show. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys.